In the post-war world of Fallout, many nations and factions have risen in the ruins of the world that once was. In the West, the new California Republic emerged as a post-war superpower, fielding a population of close to 1 million citizens by the year 2241. To the east, the might and brutality of the Roman Empire was born anew with the rise of Caesar's legion. And yet, to the far east, near the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, a new society emerged. A republic, founded in the ruins of the former capital of the United States, destined to become a shining beacon of democracy in a benighted age. I'm talking, of course, about the Republic of Dave. The Republic of Dave takes its name from its supreme commander and president for life, Dave. Over the course of 200 years, the tiny micronation, measuring about 1 kilometer in length and width, has been known by many names: the Kingdom of Larry, the Republic of Stevie Ray, Billsvania, the New Republic of Stevie Ray, and the Kingdom of Tom were ruled by ancestors of Dave in the years after the Great War. Yet these former rulers pale in comparison to the majesty and benevolence of the Supreme Commander, Dave. Born in 2230, the child that would become Dave was already destined for greatness. In the Museum of Dave, a history that one might call revisionist can be told to visitors of his rise to power. As a baby, he never cried, and his poop never stunk. As a child, he was head coach and captain of a baseball team populated by his 8 siblings. No other team ever dared to challenge them, not because the Capital Wasteland was a blasted hellhole, but they knew they could not stand against the baseball team of Dave. Threatened by his son's tremendous charisma and raw strength, the current ruler of the Kingdom of Tom, named Tom, banished his son from the realm in order to remove the threat to his power. In Dave's telling, he himself chose to leave the kingdom after becoming fed up with the dismal state that the kingdom was run. He declared he would journey into the savage wastes and return one day to liberate his people. And journey he did. The Museum of Dave goes into detail of the many exploits of Dave after his expulsion from the kingdom. Dave proved the world was 50 times bigger than a common globe as he walked across the entire planet, and most notably, arrived in China. His quests throughout the Waste were one of legend, as he became known across the world as a renowned marksman, being able to shoot apples out of the hand of a raider across the Potomac River, as well as killing a Deathclaw whose skull looked suspiciously like a Brahmin's. Outside of his own history, we do know that Dave became a mercenary in the Capital Wasteland. Most notably, he was hired by Alistair Tenpenny alongside 4 other mercenaries to breach Fort Constantine to locate a suit of T-51 power armor. Sometime within this period, he also married his first wife Rosie, who went on to become the First Lady of the Republic of Dave. The experiences of the Waste helped shape Dave, and he sharpened his skills, yet they left him disillusioned with life outside of his home. He returned to the Kingdom of Tom, disposed him, and established the current Republic of Dave with himself as its president for life. Despite being an incredibly small nation-state, consisting of merely 4 buildings, the Republic has many amenities consisting of a tourism office, immigration centre, museum, schoolhouse, capitol building, farming centre, and army depot. The Army of Dave, consisting of Dave and his son Bob, is declared to be the most ruthless military in the Wasteland, according to Dave. It is worth noting, however, that although it is a small settlement with literally only 5 adults, no raiders have attempted to loot and pillage the Republic. The Republic does appear to have connections to many of the other settlements of the Capital Wasteland, as caravans will ply the trade routes in the nation. Despite this, the citizens of the Republic are wary of outsiders. Part of this may be due to Dave's stories of the violence of the residents of the outside world. The other reason might be that every single citizen of the Republic is a child of Dave, thankfully except for his 2 wives. Dave himself has rewritten the Constitution of the Republic to grant him the right to a second wife, deeming it important to repopulate the land of Dave so that they can grow and conquer the entire wasteland. It kinda does make us wonder how the population of the Republic is able to continue to grow if every single person is related to one another. Although there is the aforementioned Immigration Bureau, Dave states that the office has accepted its yearly quota of immigrants for the year. However, given the fact that there's literally no other non-family residents, we can assume that outsiders are unable to become citizens of the Republic, instead only being able to be granted temporary residency status or asylum seeker status. Perhaps the Republic of Dave has a more Targaryen outlook on things, maybe. Regardless, in the present day, the Lone Wanderer is able to arrive at the Republic at a particularly auspicious time: Election Day. President Dave takes pride in stating that, unlike his father Tom, who ruled as an indisputable monarch, he is an elected official who is able to be replaced. It just so happens that he is the only one who ever runs in the election itself. Although many of the citizens of the Republic abhor the idea of anyone else leading the nation, 2 citizens are disenfranchised enough to be tempted to launch their own presidential bid. Bob, Dave's eldest son and second command of the army of Dave, is merely waiting for the current president for life to die so that power will pass to him. He can, however, be persuaded to put his hat in the ring, given his dissatisfaction with how Dave has run the Republic, mirroring Dave's ousting of his own father many years previously. The other contender is Dave's first wife and First Lady of the Republic of Dave, Rosie. Having experienced life outside of the Republic, Rosie is the most worldly of its residents. She is also intelligent and strives to boost trade relations with the other communities of the Waste, but is shut down by Dave at every turn. She is able to be easily persuaded to put her name in the ring as well for the election. The future of the Republic of Dave is therefore dependent on the temporary resident, the Lone Wanderer. On the day of the election, they are able to remove some of the votes to have their preferred candidate win. If the election is not tampered with, Dave will remain as president for life of the Republic. However, if the Lone Wanderer removes the votes barring that of their preferred candidate, then the Republic will gain a new leader. If Bob was preferenced, the Republic will change to become more autocratic. Bob retains the title of president initially, but immediately begins spitballing ideas on changing the name of the Republic, pondering the Kingdom of Bob, the Empire of Bob, or even Bobtopia. He embarks on a campaign to remove all previous mention of Dave, and begins launching his own decrees, including having a flag with his name on it, a museum of Bob, exiling anyone who disagrees with him, and declaring that all future elections are forfeit so that he cannot be voted out in the future. Citizens quickly disapprove of his dictatorship, with his mother Rosie worried about what Bob's rule will mean for the rest of them. If Rosie was preferenced, the Republic will change to the democracy of Rosie. Rosie retains the title of president and proclaims her intent to change things around the area. Having previously run a caravan trading outfit larger than the Republic itself, Rosie states that she will improve the lives of its citizens by expanding trade and commerce with the larger wasteland settlements, no longer fearing the influence of outsiders compared to Dave. Rosie's rule marks a dynamic shift in the history of the small settlement, as it's the first time that the area has been led by someone not from the ongoing dynasty of Dave's ancestors. And as for Supreme Commander and President for Life Dave, he embarks on a new journey. Unwilling to remain in a nation that he is not the leader of, Dave sets out from the Republic to forge a new nation, named the New Republic of Dave. The New Republic of Dave is far less impressive than its predecessor, with its borders seemingly consisting of just an alleyway filled with bodies in the ruins of a town named Old Olney. Dave basically needs to be protected the entire time to arrive at the New Republic, since the area is littered with death claws. The president of the New Republic is not as accommodating as he previously was, declaring that by order of the New Republic of Dave, the Lone Wanderer must leave. If they refuse, he opens fire before being gunned down. And so ends the micronation of the Republic of Dave, and the short-lived micronation of the New Republic of Dave. Although the game's developers had stated that they had not based this off anything in particular, I've always found comparable micronations interesting in our real world. There are approximately 50 acknowledged micronations in our world, some based off the selfish whims of someone with an immense ego, like Dave, while others are based off a protest of independence against a government that does not fulfill its duties. And as stated by the developers themselves, if the world ended and you were still alive, wouldn't you make your own country?